All right, welcome back to Wednesday Night Lights. I told you it'd be a quick turnaround. Everything is reset to go, though, as Davenport Red and Conestoga are about to deliver us a fine primetime Wednesday Night Light show match. Top 48 competition here, as Conestoga, they've got big wins this season. They 4-0'd St. Clair Gold just last week, and Davenport Red have been in the top 48 conversations for a while now. They lost Tater, who was one of their mainstay thirds, but Para, Byra, and Exiled is still a top lineup. But I'm excited to get to watch them tonight against an up-and-coming Conestoga roster. So, Borky, I hope you're ready for some top 48 action here.
Oh, most definitely. And we talked, he said it's going to be a quick turnaround. Well, I got some water, came right back, and we're just right into it.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? We had all those delays, but surprisingly with the delays, tonight has been a night full of sweeps here. We had the matchup earlier going to a 4-0, and then, of course, the Gators there just got a 3-0 over Kaiser. So I'm curious, is it going to be a full night of sweeps? Or, I mean, with the way things usually go here from what I've seen so far on the Night Lights, I think it might be a Game 7.
Yeah, genuinely, I am not sure right now, as I just realized I tagged the wrong person with the lobby info, so we're still running a little behind. It's been a chaotic night, so I think a full 7-game series would be the perfect way to cap this night off after the 2 sweeps earlier, as that's my bad, Byron, my bad, tagged the wrong guy. But that's all right. We're going to get everyone in here, and for this Wednesday Night Lights that has been full of sweeps, I mean, I think it'd be up to Conestoga, honestly, to step up and force a longer series. I think they're the more unknown roster, whereas Davenport Red expect to be on top of this best of 7. That's just kind of the legacy that they've built for themselves, having the A team of Davenport Black be in the top 15 of CRL for the last year or so. Davenport Red is still one of the better B teams of the entire Collegiate Rocket League scene.
Yeah, I mean, everything that I've seen from Davenport, I mean, it's just a name that, even not knowing too much about CRL as I was not too long ago, it still just kind of stood out there. It was a name to be reckoned with. So I'm very excited to see how Conestoga steps up to this challenge. I know currently from your rankings, you do have Conestoga 2 places above Davenport Red, Conestoga at 43. So I mean, hey, maybe it's a chance for Conestoga to prove they belong ranked higher than Davenport Red, or for Davenport, they can just show we've deserved to be where we are and we deserve to be higher.
Yeah, and that is due in part to counting the NACE result of Shawnee State reverse sweeping Davenport Red, which was I think it was Para and Byra playing with their GC2 sub, and so a little misleading with the result there. So I don't think I properly ranked Davenport Red, but it's all right because they're playing a best of 7 against a number 43 roster in Conestoga here. So still a good opportunity for them to jump back up the rankings. And for Conestoga, this is a good opportunity for them to I think push themselves further. I think they were at 39 for me last week before a bit of a disappointing CRL qualifier run, but still, it's a best of 7 to really show off their skills.
Yeah, I mean, regardless here for us, it's still a top 48 matchup. Both of these teams, I mean, both rosters speak for themselves with the level of talent that they have behind them. So hopefully we'll get everyone in and ready so we can just jump right into it. It's been a long night, I'm sure, for you, Bepic, and I'm sure you're just ready to watch more of that action unfold as everybody is jumping into the chat now to show their support.
Yeah, I know. Para and Byron need to hop in the lobby as well, which a little bit of confusion on that. But I love the fans piling in as well. A good bit of Conestoga and Davenport fans in Twitch chat. So I appreciate the support of for your schools. But Byra should know the info, Para. So, you guys pop in It's in the Discord. But yeah, I do appreciate the fan support. These are two well supported programs. Davenport I definitely knew for sure would be, but Conestoga as well. I'm learning just how well supported their program is too.
Yeah, and that's really just one of the things that got me so involved with CRL, and just how much love there is within the community, not only supporting your schools or if you're alumni. It really brings a community together, and what a better way for all of us to just sit here and scream at our team playing some Rocket League.
And apparently Exiled's in the bathroom as well. So, dude, tonight no show match can start on time. Like, it started with the Collegiate exclusive podcast. TJ had his work schedule moved up, so we had to pre-record, and so I just sat there for an hour and a half in Twitch chat while that played as a pre-recorded podcast, which meant that we couldn't react to the NECC matches that popped off earlier with Leslie beating Northwood. You had Bruton Parker beating Baylor, and then Indiana Tech, who they 4-2? St. Clair, I think. And then it's been an insane night of Collegiate Rocket League action, and I am in the chaos, enjoying myself mostly, but I would like this series to start relatively soon.
Yeah, it's been a night for sure. I mean, I honestly think before we even got into that Florida Kaiser matchup, I was sitting there looking at that Leslie and Northwood result, and I feel like that just was kind of foreshadowing of what's to come here tonight, of all the unexpected craziness.
All right, Exiled's out of the bathroom. He should have no distraction. So if Exiled plays bad, that's on him. But I don't expect him to. I'm looking forward to watching Davenport Red play. They are responsible, I believe, for one of the few reverse sweeps in my Night Lights show matches of all time. So they are a storied roster in these show matches. They know how to get it done when the night lights are the brightest. And so for Conestoga, I don't know much about them. This is a show match that Poke reached out to me about competing in, and and so they are here to prove themselves. And similar to Kaiser, they want to get their name and their abilities out in front of the public, and show matches are a pretty good way of doing that.
Yeah, what a better way to get yourself established, not only within the scene, but in the hearts of other people that are just happening by to tune in for the show match, to be able to see, hey, this Conestoga team's pretty good, and they are ranked within the top 48, so they might as well stick around, see what they have to produce. And I'm sure you've probably seen it by now, but Myra mentioning that the update is still coming back to haunt us today here on the Night Lights show matches.
Yeah, so apparently Exiled has a version mismatch. So I don't know how he's been playing on a non-updated version of the game for this long. So it's gonna be a second longer before we get this show match rolling. So sorry to everybody that wants action right here, right now. But at the very least, Borky, we can keep this a best of 7 because you and I don't have commitments afterwards, unless you gotta run right at the top of the hour. But that's the benefit of this being the last show match of the night.
Yeah, there's nobody else waiting behind Davenport and Conestoga. I know in that Florida Kaiser match did have to be moved to a best of 5, which ended up being a 3-0 sweep in favor of Florida. If you weren't here, if you missed out on that, a lot didn't go the way in favor of Kaiser, which, I mean, maybe they can accredit that to the loss, but Florida looked very good. I'm sure if we did get a game 7, Kaiser had plenty of opportunities to at least get 1 on the win column, but we'll still go the full 7 here if that is needed to determine a winner.
Well, apparently, I don't know, because the update would have come out before that NECC match, but what do I know? I'm just a show match caster, but that's I do like, for those wondering, Noah in chat is the Davenport director, by the way. So he is responsible for these guys and their lack of preparedness. Okay. So the update. Well, when was the update? Like 6 p.m. I guess it would have been around then. So fair enough. We'll we can keep on our podcast, Brooke. You're auditioning for a spot on Collegiate Exclusive right now. Apparently, didn't even know it.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to the opportunity. The pressure's all on, definitely now, though, as I quickly try to look for some more.
What's your biggest hot
results.
take in the CRL space? Right, I know you're new to the scene. I know you're like you're trying to adapt to following everything. Do you have any hot takes? It could be at the top, it could be at the bottom, wherever. You got any?
I think Maryland should be a top 32 team.
Ooh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Why?
No, everything that I've seen from Maryland, it looks like they're only getting better. They're just so cohesive as a unit. I mean, what I've seen from them over in CCS, they've been looking pretty dominant. I think they got close to a top 32, if not top 32 in CRL. I might be misspeaking there, but I believe that they did have a pretty decent run.
Top 24 in their like overall. They placed top 3 in their group. It was they beat Borregos. That was the Ole Miss pool actually with I believe Kaiser and Huntington. Yeah, top 3 for Maryland. That's not a bad take. I mean, they look really good, and they're trying out a new third with Cozy P. And if that's their first like real demonstration of a big bracket, that's not a bad take. I like it.
Yeah, no, I do have to admit I'm very fond of Turtle. Everything that I've seen from Turtle within CRL so far has just been a great watch, and Hexy as well. I mean, I've had the privilege of casting Hexy twice since I've gotten into CRL, and I feel like he just really complements and fills out a roster. So all of those 3 players together, and with Cozy P being trialed in, I think they're just going to keep getting better and better, and I hope to see them in that top 32.
I like the take, and I don't mind the take as well from Bilski in chat. Little bit of a biased take, saying that Michigan State is a top 8 team, but if they continue the form they had, where they did lose to Concord those back-to-back best of 5s, but outside of that still won everything in their pool on Sunday, then I definitely think that Michigan State has the potential to maybe jump over a team like Cumberland, maybe Baylor as well if they're losing to Bruton Parker in NACE matches, especially when that was a grudge match, the Baylor Bruton Parker. Because Borky, here's a fun fact for you: the director at Baylor right now, his former school, like up until this past April, I believe, was Bruton Parker, and so I know he wanted to win that. I know the BPCU boys wanted to win that. And so maybe there's room for Michigan State in that top 8.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly feel I'm gonna say this so you know that there's no bias here. I lived in Ann Arbor for 3 years, so go blue.
Okay.
But I feel like Michigan State, when we do get into the closed qualifiers and go through those 3 opens, I feel like they will be adjusted. They won't get Concord, which is they're claiming was their downfall there. So when we do get into the closed qualifiers for split 2, I'm looking forward to seeing how Michigan State does, and they do have potential for top 8 in my opinion.
Yeah, they should be a close qualifier team, and if they're not, then it's either because they were too busy on Wednesday nights partying, or something went horribly wrong. But let's focus back on another Michigan school. Davenport Red versus the Conestoga Condors. I'm actually not sure where Conestoga is. I'll have to look at that as well. But right now, we've actually got Rocket League on our screen. So let's see just how iced these 2 teams are, as Conestoga already look pretty threatening.
Ooh. You know, I did try to throw in a quick Google search, but I didn't get it underway in time. So please let us know where Conestoga is from when you do figure that out. But right now they're trapped in their own box in Davenport, X will find us opening up the scoring here about 30 seconds or so in.
Good start for Davenport. I did just learn that a Conestoga is a type of horse-drawn freight carriage. So that is your fun fact of the evening. That's what a Conestoga is, but a Conestoga College up in Ontario. So pretty close. This is a very northern matchup, and oh, that's nearly a rebuttal from the Canadian fellas, but just off the mark was 80 there, and he'll try again now in the other corner.
And for Conestoga,
there we go.
It's going to be an instant response here from Poke. And that's what you love to see. You know, you got pressured. Davenport threw their punch. Well, you took it, threw one right back, and we got ourselves a tied ball game.
Nice rebuttal there. I didn't know how the delay on the start of the series would affect, you know, both teams actually, but Conestoga, who were sitting in lobby for a little bit, they did go back to free play, I assume is what they were in, getting ready to get back into the lobby for this best of 7, so don't seem to have missed a step, though Poke does over-jump that ball, so it's a potential clear, missed out on, and it does allow Davenport Red to start establishing a presence in offense.
Be careful for some of these floaters here. Davenport, that's what set them up brilliantly for that first goal. Just had a nice one trinkle its way in front of net, and by the time it got there, they were already jumping all over it. X pops another one towards net. Poke there on the backboard does keep us moving forward. It's a break, double commit, it's an opening, and Poke, he's not going to miss that one, just has to fall on it. And Conestoga now 2 in a row.
Nice finish. Not always easy to tap that in with there'll be no telling where the ball is going, up or down, left or right, but Poke finds a nice read. Now grab a lead for Conestoga. And off kickoff, Para can take it right back, carries through one, but is bumped off the play there by the incoming Conestoga player, and so they'll reset this Davenport roster.
That's something that Davenport's done a good job of, is building this offense, you know. Well, I mean, I guess defense wins championships, which is leading Conestoga here in this opening matchup. But if Davenport can just continue that pressure that they build there, they might have a good chance of being able to squeak some of these goals in if they can just get it below that bar.
Still, it's more possession for Davenport, and they've not found a goal since their opener, but have put a decent amount of pressure on the goal line of Conestoga, but these clears seem destined for those Davenport backline players, as Conestoga, when they do find a way out, usually put pretty threatening offense down the field pretty quickly. And with 2 minutes left, they are hunting for a third goal. That is significant. An insurance score at this stage of the game would be nice to have in your back pocket, but Davenport not relenting this time around in transition defense, and they will slowly start to grind their way off their back line, though Exiled has been taken out. A nice demo up ahead that stunts the counterattack of Davenport, though Para and Byra working together will find their way out of the defense.
Oh, they almost found Exile. Oh, okay, well, I was going to say they almost found Exile there for a nice infield pass. It was broken up, but Byra, he's just going to take a shot into Cyber, maybe looking to get that up the corner. Wrong place there for Conestoga. And Davenport, well, calculated spam in the chat. Why don't you?
And I can only imagine it was Tater's spam in the Twitch chat that nailed that second goal for Davenport, propelled them to now a tie ball game once again. As I'm a firm believer that Twitch chat supports affecting play on the field, and I mean Tater would be the guy to really affect this team, being one of their former players. So it's good to see him supporting his boys right now, but Conestoga have done well to fight back when conceding before in this game, and so far so good as Poke again finds a demo up ahead, but this carry from Peril prevents easy offense for Conestoga.
Oh, and it's going to slip through the midfield here. Poke's going to try to put this on target. Follow up there from 80. Cyber's getting involved in the action as well, but the Davenport line holds strong. But for how much longer? It's another one from Poke. It's tipped down and just barely underneath. for Conestoga to steal the lead back again.
And I like for all the intricate copy pastas that Tater's dropping, Mr. Juicyberg with the simple Conestoga Condors spam. That's what I'm talking about. You know exactly who you're cheering for. Gotta make sure everybody else does too. And again, it's battling back when Davenport is testing the mettle of the Condors, though. This is a half chance that looked halfway decent and forced a double commit off the goal line of Conestoga. Poke and Cyber just used that double to now move forward together off the back of a clear.
So they're looking to make a play happen here. We'll find Para. Para up to the backboard. Does get the double, but Poke was in the way. We'll play some good disruptance there. Allows 80 to try to clear the pitch. A bit of a back pass maybe. Para, though, collects us here. Can Davenport in these final 10 seconds clear their own half? Exile touch there. Para streaking across. Midfield pass comes in. Huge save there from Poke, and the ball's just going to roll its way to the ground. Conestoga barely hanging in there, but they do come away.
That's what I'm talking about, though. A last-second play that looked fantastic. That drop-down pass, instead of trying to force a shot on target with time dwindling, shows you the experience that Davenport has. But Poke, man, at the end, they're not just making an incredible save on a hard-struck ball, but also saving it off his post into a position that ends the game by dropping the ball on 0 seconds. That was phenomenal, and it's off the back of a hat trick game for Poke 2. Dropped almost, was that 700 points? I missed the number at the end, but it was a lot of points there, which we all know, points are what determines how good a team is. And I mean, Poke there looking like a professional player with the amount of points he dropped in game 1.
Yeah, Poke just really seemed to be all over the pitch that game. It just, I mean,
keep it going
right off of the kickoff. 2 seconds in, and Poke just continuing that dominant trend there, getting themselves known and adding a 4th goal here in the series.
Credit to Cyber for winning that kickoff into a position where Poke could then keep his momentum from the cheat and turn it into a powerful flick on target. Can't forget about the guy that took the kickoff, even though it is Poke scoring the goal at the end of the play. And Conestoga pick up right where they left off. It was a great late goal to find themselves a lead, great late save to confirm it, and into game 2, the Condors they continue that momentum for a lack of diverse saying.
Oh, but I love the gumption here from Davenport to continue looking for these passes. That didn't work out there in the waning seconds of game 1, but it still seems to be a go-to here because they're very accurate. They're so deadly, and if you get the right timing, you're going to catch this Conestoga defense off guard.
More Conestoga Condors spam in chat as they score 1. Look to make it a second with 80 off the ceiling. Going for a ground double, but Max will pick the ball up and take away that pressure from Conestoga. Spook plays the ball straight into Cyber, but it's a 5-head play as playing it backwards allowed 80 to then move offense deeper into that orange half after it was looking like a necessary retreat for Conestoga. Still might Davenport get back in time, but crafty offense nonetheless.
I do have to love the Conestoga Condors just copy and paste in the chat. And I mean, we talked about how it's feeling them. Well, right now, Conestoga's still on top. They've been maintaining some good control here of the ball, but Byra's trying to get one back. Shot will go on target, but it's Cyber who stuffs it out. A follow-up from Para, and Pokes this time is called up to the challenge.
I mean, this series has all the makings of a Wednesday Night Lights nightcap. It's got, first of all, great back and forth play on the field, but also big personalities on the pitch. It's got celebrities like Noah the Nexus and Tater and Mr. Juicyberg watching, and it's as chaotic a bit of Rocket League as you can ask for, as Davenport sends 2 missiles at that blue net. Conestoga stop them both, and then all of a sudden there's a massive opening on their goal line for Davenport Red to finally find that equalizer.
Yeah, you know, all 3 players from Davenport just taking their turn at net. It is Exiled who does get them in eventually. But for Conestoga, good hold. You can't hold forever, though, and with this pressure here, that demo from Poke, almost an opportunity, but Byra coming out of nowhere to get that save.
Still, it'd be Cyber coming out of nowhere to find another one. And with no boost in the tank, that is an impossible ask. Byra 50s that ball to perfection. And honestly, I don't know how Byra and Exiled cooked that up on no boost between the two of them.
Yeah, some of these goals that have gone in here, you just really have to stop and just admire the caliber of Rocket League we're seeing played out in front of us. It's going to be Byra up towards the backboard, doesn't get the double Exiled, stuffed out there by Cyber, but Davenport really have been doing a phenomenal job controlling. I don't know if you still have the numbers pulled up here, but I want to know their field domination for this game too.
It is 57-43, but growing in the favor of Davenport with each and every second they spend in offense, which 80 can stop the growth of field domination, but Gravity, obviously a Davenport Panthers fan, as it's another Conestoga player descending into a prevented clear of the Conestoga half. I don't know why that keeps happening to him, but it does.
Yeah. Yeah, just kind of go up to the ceiling, let Gravity do the work. Byra, again, looking for that double tap. That's the third attempt there. Each one getting a little bit closer. If you're Conestoga, have to be careful of that because eventually it might land. This one, though, Byra has to race back, does bail out his two teammates there. And this touch does allow a quick flip of possession. Exile can't get that in front of net though. Allows Poke to take us up high. Cyber looking for the up high air pass, whatever I'm trying to say there, but it doesn't connect.
Conestoga fighting from behind again. They came back from this very scoreline in game one to win at the very end of the game, but Davenport aren't letting them really play offense, let alone set up the same sort of extended pressure that the Condors had last game, where Poke was able to net a hat trick, as well as a couple of pivotal saves in defense. But right now, crashing that defensive net, everyone from Conestoga is looking for that opportunity to score an equalizer with less than a minute left. 80 will be next up, but Exile takes away his opportunity. Now Cyber pops the ball to himself and is shut down by Para. Poke has to retreat back, and time dwindles now for the Condors.
For the Condors, they do need to get something soon here. Poke's going to set up a good opportunity. Byra, though, instantly deletes that before their very eyes. Cyber might be the final attack here for Conestoga. If Exile clearing that one downfield, it could seal the game. Para just taps it down. And Davenport, well, they're right back in the race.
Another one-goal affair, and the copy pastas continue to flood my Twitch chat. Another staple, I think, of a nightcap series and a Night Lights broadcast. Is that was much better from Davenport defensively. I mean, they were able to clog up their net when they had to play defense, but around the midfield, they did a lot of their best work, as Conestoga had a lot fewer opportunities in that game. And again, we read it up so quickly that I didn't get to catch how many shots they had on target, but they a lot fewer quality chances overall.
Yeah, it feels like Davenport really just put the clamp down there towards the midway point of that second game. Didn't allow the Condors any real opportunities to get themselves into that series, but clean slate. One thing that I've learned is that you do a phenomenal job getting these matchups secured as even as possible, and with them so close in the rankings, a sweep is avoided here for the first time tonight, and it's going to see who's going to respond here. 80, though, looking to try to get that scoring started, but Para, what a save.
Yeah, no kidding. That was a phenomenal pop-off from 80 up until the final touch on the goal line, stuffed by the defense, and there was no immediate rebound opportunities. Davenport Red acted fast to clear the ball off their goal line and help their defender out, but still 0-0. As the Panthers look for that opener once again, and Exile in the corner has pace and a player center, but Cyber intervenes.
It just really feels like as each minute passes here in the series, the game is just getting so much more scrappy. The tempo continues to pick up. This one from Byra finds his way over. It hits the top down, and it's an unfortunate positioning there. A bit of a own goal that eventually will be accredited to Poke, but I mean, you can't predict that. But for Tater, proving his theory that Byra is going to make his grandma talk for the first time in 12 years.
Oh no, yeah, that's bad for. I mean, it's not bad from Poke. It's rough though. It's Conestoga. I mean, you don't want to call things unlucky in Rocket League, but we've only played a game and a half, and they've had that moment right there, which is more embarrassing, if anything. Like, it's such an impossible read to make, and then you end up putting it in yourself that it just sucks. And then you have the couple of moments where there are no boost blue cars that just descend in front of a potential clear from defense or more pressure in offense, and just moments like those that are starting to stack up on the Conestoga end. So hopefully they can recover, but here comes another ripper of a shot, but it is defended nicely by the Condors. Poke again alone in defense and does nicely to find a couple of clears off his goal line.
Poke really making up for the sin of own goal, even though you can't really fault him for that. It was just wrong place, wrong moment, but a great upfield pass there from 80 does find Cyber, and I mean, it just looked like Davenport too far committed there on that attack.
Hey, a feisty Taquito with the raid. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're having a good time over at the Taquito party stream. What were you doing, dude? I hope the stream went well, but welcome in to some Collegiate Rocket League show matches. And I'm sure Taquito broke it down on the way in here, but this is the insane nightcap show match between a couple of top 48 ranked CRL rosters, and it's everything you could have asked for. 2 1-goal games so far, and game 3 right now looking no different.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't have put it a better way there. I mean, both of these teams just have been so phenomenal, and so many factors here. So welcome in, Taquito. Welcome in, the Raiders. Hope you enjoy your stay here after the CCS game. So even more College Rocket League for everybody to witness tonight.
Oh, yeah. I think everyone is catching the Collegiate Rocket League fever here with all the big names that have come in, the storylines that have existed over the course of the last couple of years of Collegiate Rocket League. And it was 2 sweeps over there, Borky. I guess Taquito had the same sort of sickness on his stream that we've had here tonight. Sweep fever in the middle of a CRL plague around the greater Rocket League community as South Carolina swept Mizzou. And Arizona State swept Texas Tech. What? All right. Well, I mean, those are crazy sweeps. Mine were fairly boring. Oh, okay.
Oh, well, it's been a crazy night here of CRL. The night lights continue to get crazier, and it's once again 80 here from his own side of the field, just sending it down range, and eventually it finds its way into the net of Davenport. And Conestoga taking their lead back here. 1 goal has decided the 2 games so far. Is it going to be the same case here? We have a minute to find out, but don't be worried for all of the Raiders. This one's not a sweep so far.
Not so far. And we could see a team run away with things. We could see 5 more 1-goal games. And I'm not sure which one we're going to get quite yet. As Undecided looked dominant through enough period of times to say that one could make a run over the other, but this is a nice little stretch for Davenport with Para setting up Byra for a potential finisher, but Poke gets in the way. And so with that miss, okay, actually Cyber will have a lane to clear, and 80 downfield. No way 80 hits that. Had the energy of hitting that double tap, but doesn't end up making contact, so we'll go back the other way. Davenport looked for a quick counterattack goal, but even that is stopped away by the Condors.
Oh, and it's all gonna just come down to these final 15 seconds. I can feel the tension growing here on the pitch. Davenport keeping it in. Cyber does clear it away, so it's going to be one final opportunity. Byra doesn't get the touch there. Wait a minute, though. Flip the pitch. Para puts a shot on, gets a bump there, but Byra doesn't get a shot strong enough, and Conestoga Once again, one goal is all that separates us, but they take the lead back here in the series.
And for all of the offensive chances we had the last couple of games, just 4 on either side there. But Conestoga made the most of theirs, and when we look at field domination again, it's actually back to 60-40 again in favor of Davenport. So they are still controlling possession, but I think there were enough back and forth plays through the midfield to ensure that Conestoga were never quite stuck on their goal line.
Right. I feel like one of the biggest factors as well, I mean, both of those goals weren't even scored on Davenport's final third. They were just shot from Conestoga trying to clear themselves out of defense, and they just happened to find an open net on the other side of the pitch. And I mean, I guess that speaks volumes for, yeah, Davenport was building so much pressure. They were really locking things down, but that third man just too far forward, and it allowed Conestoga 2 escapes and the game.
Yeah, and the Davenport goal as well was that clear that went off of the crossbar, off of poke, and into the back of the Conestoga net. So that is worth keeping in mind, as Davenport haven't scored maybe a real goal, for lack of a better term, in a couple games, but they have been creating. I mean, they have had a couple of moments where they've put together some decent passes through the corner, through the infield, and Conestoga's just been in the way of it. So good defense, preventing some good looks for Davenport. And speaking of good looks, that was nearly a beautifully set up and knocked in opening goal for Conestoga. But Davenport, along with their back wall, found a couple of big saves to keep us tied until now. 80 at the end of things does open the scoring with a, well, it's tapping ball right out in front.
Conestoga in the last game had 4 shots. 30 seconds in here, they have 4 shots. That opening of this game was absolutely unrelenting there. We can see they're already back here on the side of Davenport. Para, though, will clear us away. We'll get some offense here for Davenport to see what they're made of. It looks like a back pass attempt will be broken up. That one, I believe that was Cyber who came screaming in to get the 50 there. Back pass, Cyber collects us, takes us downfield, looking for the double touch. Does connect, Exile keeps it out. Shot comes in from 80, but a little bit too far, too high.
And the gong of failure clangs as it's a chance for Conestoga to add another to their already growing lead. The goal in the first minute or so was a nice mark to hit early on, but Exile could take that lead away. Had no boost, though, and was kind of spun out by a Conestoga Condor, tracking him down through the midfield. So just the 1 goal lead for Conestoga, as Exile tried his hand at taking it away, but was unsuccessful.
And I'm just waiting for Davenport to build that offense again. We talked about, even in the games they were losing, that 60% field domination.
Oh, that's nice.
It's just going to be an opening here for Para. 80 almost got back in the nick of time, but it still finds its way in. And that's off of the ceiling here, committing for that challenge there. How did he even read that was going to be open?
That's just the Para difference right there. Has been a standout player on a really good B team for a while now. As Davenport Red, I mean, last season I think they, as a B team, were closer to the likes of St. Clair Gold and Akron Gold, but still looking very solid here as Para stepped up. And with a great read-in defense, will net a score. That's what the meta of this series is evolving into, Borky. We're getting a lot of goals that come from clears off the back line.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just that back line, and what a save there from Byra. He was getting bumped, still manages to come down with the squishy save and instantly flip the pitch. It's going to be a scoring opportunity, and Exile puts it away. He takes the lead for Davenport in a series that should not have happened.
Through everybody, too. And that's more like the connection of Davenport Red that I've been watching for the better part of the last year or so. And Para, everyone contributing. Para got the first one, Byra and Exiled combined for the second, and now Byra on the goal line of Davenport Red is putting work in.
Oh my goodness, what is unfolding here before us? We are now halfway through this game, and Exile's hitting shots like this.
Yeah, I mean, he steals the 100 boosts in the corner and decides to make something of it immediately. Off the ceiling, nails a far side shot, and poor Cyber was in position to maybe save that, just reacted too late to the shot coming off the ceiling, and maybe, just maybe, we won't have a 1-goal game at the end of this one, but Cyber will at least keep things manageable for Conestoga, as Davenport have gone on quite the run.
Oh, Exiled on hat trick watch right now, having a phenomenal series here. But even Byra, 4 saves. That defense has been locked down. Conestoga, with all of their shots, just haven't managed to find their way through besides that opening goal there where they got a majority of that pressure. But since then, it's been all Davenport. We still see them attacking this goal, just throwing shot after shot. And for Conestoga, it's going to be a nice little bit of relief here. But how long can they keep it up?
Good field awareness. Poke locating Cyber, who they get the ball back to him, but Para, in the way, made a nice read to prevent what could have been a web of passes that turns into a second goal for the Condors. Instead now, it'll be a team pinch on target. Got Byra tracked back and Red along with Para as well. They both jumped for it. I think both would have had a save, but that's kind of crafty from the Conestoga Condors, and it results eventually in a secondary opportunity, but even that is stopped by Para.
Oh, I mean, it's just this defense here for Davenport that's been a massive thorn in the side here for Conestoga. They have 11 shots here in this game in comparison to Davenport's 7, but the score favors Davenport here. They just haven't let anything slip through that final line. Exile collecting us here off the sidewall, looking for Byra. Midfield pass does collect. Poke left on an island here, has to take the better 50 and manages to come away with it.
1v1, Cyber, actually it turns it into a 1v2, but that nearly doesn't matter. The shot far side is just a little bit off net, and that's the difference between a potential 3-2 scoreline going to the final 15 seconds, and now a 4-1 likely dagger scoreline for Davenport.
You really can't blame Conestoga there either, though. You kind of have to throw the kitchen sink at Davenport. You had the opportunity, and it's just going to fade away before your own very eyes. Davenport willing themselves into this. There's a 5th there. Hat trick secured for Exile. Run up those stats, why don't you? But this one's all said and done.
I knew they were going to score another as soon as I wrote down 4-1 in my notebook, assuming that we were done, but that's the way things go. These players love to spite me sometimes, but man, Davenport Red, what a comeback here. Down in the series, but took a lead from Conestoga, and no, they score first. I've forgotten all the goals that we've had in Game 4 who actually did open us up, because Conestoga had a good chance early on, but I can't remember if it went in or not. So we can move on if we like.
Yeah, well, it was Conestoga with their 4 shots in the first 30 seconds that opened the scoring. Right. And then since then, we're just completely shut out. It's the 5 saves on Byra that really speak volumes to me, and just Davenport's counterattack capabilities. And I'm going to keep referring to what was the field domination for that game.
It was 53-47 in favor of Conestoga, actually. They got it back there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could talk about, like, that final, I would say, like, minute and a half. It looked like Conestoga did have some really good chances.
They did.
But it was just each one that they put on target, though, it just happened to be Byra was there. I don't know how he got that one squishy save that instantly turned into a goal. That's the highlight of the night so far here for me. But 2-2 now in the series. We do have the potential to go the distance. Finally, a game, though, that's not decided by 1. But, I mean, when it's kind of running away like that, it's very hard to stop the Davenport train.
Yeah, 5 saves there for Byra, and like you said, I mean the quality of opportunities there for Conestoga was there. They had the team pinch shot on target. They had a couple of nice passing plays that were stopped outside of the orange box by well-aware Davenport defense. They weren't just playing defense on their goal line. That was a key part of their defensive third stands, but they also had a guy upfield, usually in position to interfere with Conestoga attempted passing plays, and that prevented a lot of maybe surefire goals. And apparently, you got to get someone off the goal line of Conestoga challenging Byra early on, as no one puts a hand up here before it was too late.
Oh, that is disgusting there from Byra. Just the control that he's able to create there, and then before you even realize what's happening, that double touch comes in. The sound is ricocheting throughout the stadium. And Byra setting himself up for another opportunity. It's going to be Para. And what should have been a Davenport second goal goes to the wayside in 80. Huge way to get back in time.
That's just the way this series has gone. You gotta take the blows as they come, and now Davenport have just overcommitted, so it's a 2v1 going the other way, but Cyber couldn't get the ball to his teammate, forced up by our rotating in Panther. And now Para and Byra and X are all up for the same ball. I like the ambition, and the ambition goes punished. Cyber will clean up that open net miss by 80. Not an easy conversion, but one I'm sure he would have liked, though doesn't matter. We're tied.
Yeah, and I guess we're back to what the program was supposed to be, of just trading goals back and forth. Davenport used quite a few of theirs in that last game, and it's Conestoga putting some early offense here once again. If they're able to continue building that, they have honestly the best chance to take away this series here, but we can never write out Davenport once they get clicking.
Oh, Byra, how does he save that? I thought for sure that was a second goal for Conestoga, as 80 read that ceiling bounce to perfection, was there about as fast as a human could be, and yet Byra still keeps us level. And now Para's downfield stealing 100 boosts from 80. That could come back to bite Conestoga, as now Davenport are claiming control of the boost game, have a nice attempt on net that is stopped by Poke, and Cyber prevents X from putting in a rebound. Still though, the offense of the Panthers persists, and to the Condors' credit, they actually shut it down with limited resources to work with.
Oh my goodness. Tater said earlier in one of his copy pastas that Byra's a walking highlight reel. Well, that is surely the case here tonight. How does he continue to come away with those saves, even set up that Davenport goal with that beautiful double tap? So you just have to really admire it. The shot comes in from Exiled. Cyber keeps us out for now. But Davenport, once they get clicking here, and once Byra gets possession of the ball, he's just going to make your life a nightmare.
I'll timestamp games 4 and 5 of this series for the editing Tim and Nightlight Showmatch partnership everyone's looking for, because he's got a video coming up that has to be Byra highlights from his Wednesday Night Lights debut in the fall of 2025. I think everyone's been asking for that. Editing Tim is on it, so don't worry, as Byra has been popping off this game. I mean, Exiled, he's at 66 points 3 minutes in, and it doesn't really matter. He's still playing his role well, and Davenport have a lead.
You know, you talked about the 66 points. It took it took to the 2-minute point before anybody else on Davenport had 100 points. Para just finally got it, and Byra's sitting at 511. Exiled looking for the pass infield. Byra's getting physical, getting some bumps. Exiled, Para almost sinking that one down. Exiled read off of the corner there. And for Conestoga, if they can get a quick counterattack here, it might set them up nicely.
I like that solo play energy from Poke, but even that's still not enough to set up easy offense for the Condors. Now Poke's having a half flip back into position, so he can't pounce on an immediate clear. Para's going for a ground pinch. I think that was maybe just shy of being on target, but not enough for the defense to risk it, as Davenport's offense has awoken, and I don't know what flipped the switch.
Oh, I mean, what more can we ask here from the Conestoga defense? There have been so many times where they've held, but when you're just getting these quality of shots thrown at you time and time again, eventually you're going to feel that wear and tear. And Davenport just seems so much quicker right now. Like, they have flipped that switch, the tempo has increased, and they're looking to run away with this series.
Got a great read on what Conestoga's trying as well. These sidewall to infield passing plays are being stopped, it seems like, at every turn. And even there, when it does connect on the goal line, it's been Byra a lot in this series, but Exiled there makes a big stop, and that will keep Conestoga at arm's length as Davenport hold a multi-goal lead here in the final 30 seconds and could add to it with a nice shot from Exiled. That's exactly what we get, 4-1.
Well, both Byra and Exile now sitting on hat-trick watch. The start of the series, it was one goal that determined everything. But last game and this game, it really just feels like it's all Davenport. But it's not to any fault of Conestoga. They're getting opportunities, they're getting shots. Just, they can't get through the great wall of Byra here.
Great wall of Byra indeed, and even Exiled laying some bricks at the end of this game. And I mean, Para, he's beautiful. He's always looking good on the field. But 4-1 all around, a phenomenal scoreline for Davenport to take into what will be a closeout game. That would have been a goal for the record had we had more seconds on the clock. But 4-1 is the final. Conestoga don't even get a last laugh.
Yeah. On the 0-second drill, Davenport still hustling on the goal line. So what a series this has turned out to be here. You know, we've had plenty of chaos on not only the Nightlights but CRL across the board, and right now Davenport looking like they want to move up a bit in your rankings.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I think every player lives their life from Bepic ranking to Bepic ranking, and that's all we're caring about in the CRL space at the moment. But
as you should.
They went back and forth at the start with Conestoga. I was thinking we were in for a good showcase of how close these two teams are in skill level, and my rankings did have Davenport a couple of spaces behind Conestoga, but I'll be the first to admit that I did factor in the Shawnee State reverse sweep of Davenport playing with a GC2 sub in place of one of the players. I forget who it is, and I know Scammer's in chat right now, so I don't want to dish on the GC2 sub too hard, but that loss maybe affected their rankings, and now they're showing us what they really should be.
Oh, well, Davenport currently sitting in the driver's seat to take this one away. For Conestoga, need to find some of that earlier life here if they have hopes of getting themselves back in here to this series. 80's going to give his life in order to get a pass up to Poke there. Shot does come on. Of course, it's Byra that gets the save, but Conestoga, first couple of seconds, they've done a really good job of getting some offensive pressure.
It is another good opening foray from Conestoga. I mean, the 4 shots, I think it was 2 games ago now, that they had to open things up, and then Davenport flipped the field, went on a run. That's kind of what we're seeing again. It's a close shave for the Conestoga defense as 80 finds a near side block, and Poke can transition the ball away and go inside wall, but running out of boost, and now no one's up immediately to contest Byra, so he'll find a clear, as well as the spearhead for this Davenport Red counterattack, and it will result in an exiled pass center, a Byra shot, and another 80 save.
Oh, 80 barely tilting his car back in the nick of time to keep that one out here. It was a lot of scoring in the last two games. Well, right now we find ourselves in a bit of a stalemate. You want to rely on those fundamentals, and for Conestoga, backs against the wall. You're sitting here at match point for Davenport, so you can't afford any of these mistakes, and you need to find a way to get past Byra. That's the main thing here.
He's just farming saves in this one. There's no reward for having the most saves in a series, and well, he can't farm saves when he's not on the goal line. It's a quick outlet pass from Conestoga that finally catches no one on the goal line for Davenport. So the Condors still have a fighter's chance at forcing Game 7.
Oh, and we can see the Conestoga Condors copy and paste returning to the chat. That's exactly what they need. But for the Davenport Panthers, Byra is still just unstoppable.
Just like that, there goes some of that fighter's chance from Conestoga. But shout out to Milk, according to the Twitch alert robot, for the Prime sub. Thank you very much, my friend, and congrats on the big win over Baylor today. That had to be a nice little revenge match, taking down your former director. And Tater, thank you for the gifted sub to Thermal Rex. Much appreciated, guys. Thanks for supporting the channel.
Oh my goodness, Tater dropping some more in here as well. We
know
the copy and paste they were spamming here for Davenport. Well, they're up here, they're on match point, so might as well show that love in what has been the series of the night here, in my opinion.
Another gifted sub. Tater, much appreciated, dude. Started a hype train, though. I gotta say, the hype train started a couple hours ago when we had Collegiate exclusive playing, and it went into a couple of Wednesday Night Lights show matches that, despite being sweeps, are still good showcases of CRL action. That's always when my hype train really starts, but I do appreciate the support, guys. Much love, and we'll lock back in for the last couple of minutes of this Game 6 because Conestoga need the next goal, I feel like. Because if Davenport score the next one, it'll probably come attached to a multi-goal run like we've seen the last couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, once they do get that floodgate open, it seems like Conestoga don't really have an answer to force it shut. It's going to be some great defense there from 80. He's been really stepping up here in this game as well. 3 saves to his name, has the lone goal as well from that quick counterattack they were able to establish. But this one is gonna find its way there off of the backboard. Para sets us up beautifully, getting us the distance, and Exiled, all he has to do is trust in his teammate and put it on target.
Just finally found a gap on the Conestoga back line. They had done well to prevent many opportunities like that, but finally, Pokes caught, no boost. Now Cyber has nothing in the tank, and Exiled, the kind and generous soul that he is, leaves an easy tap in for Para to put Davenport up now by 2.
You said you were worried about it for Conestoga, that if Davenport got the next goal, they just continue to flow in. There's another one in a quick succession. Barra lofting this one there. Cyber has to jump, managing to get a hand on it. Gets a follow-up there from Exile's touch as well, so that stops away some of that immediate pressure. A trade of demos comes out on the pitch. Byra farming the respawn there as well. But nothing really comes out of it there for Conestoga.
That's clean from Exiled, and Byra is there for the finishing touch. The wheels have fallen off the wagon. The Conestoga, if you will. Yes, I learned what that was earlier. If you don't know, look it up. Google will tell you. But yeah, the wheels have fallen off. It's 4-1, and Davenport might close this series out with 3 consecutive 4 or 5-1 score lines.
Oh, you really have to just wonder what flip was switched there for Davenport. You know, the games were so close, it was so back and forth, and it just seems like these last 3 have been all them. Or, I mean, I guess we could say a lot of it is just Byra willing them into the game, and then once that goal does come in, the rest of the players wake up, lock in, because again, we were in another situation until the halfway point of the game. Byra was the only one above that 100 score mark, and now across the board, everybody's approaching the 400, if not above it.
It's hard to be low in the score department when you got 4 goals on the board, but hey, Conestoga at least getting one for the road, maybe another if the kickoff goes their way, but good double 50 win, and that gives Cyber and 80 the pick of the litter as to who wants to score that second goal. So some more Conestoga Condor spam in chat, but this show match is done. Davenport Red even find a stop-off kickoff. Their crossbar getting in on the action.
What a series that was there. Conestoga do get a little bit of a takeaway there at the end, so something that they can walk away with, knowing they scored the last goal here of this series. But man, what a game it was. What I think the best part of it for me was the Twitch chat, you know, all of the Conestoga Condors chants, Tater spamming his copy paste. So
yeah, that's the chat really showed up for this one. So shout out to all of you guys watching. And it looks like we're about to have a Byra Beast interview. He just asked if he needed a webcam. NEVC. Sorry, I'm doing my admin thing. So we're gonna have Byra joining us in the booth here in a second. So everyone, start spamming Byra Beast in Twitch chat right now. You gotta support him, as he was a big reason why Davenport Red did win with his goal line performances, but was a full team effort. Though we do have Byra joining us in the Wednesday Night Lights booth. Dude, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. I mean, good performance. You put on a show for us. 4-2. Not a bad way to end the night off, but you dropped a couple of games and then went on a 5-1, 4-1, 4-1, 5-1 run there at the end. What went into that?
We just kind of went back and forth with what we're used to and kind of playing to the other team's ability. So we kind of just dialed it in every time we dropped the game, and we're like, hey, we know what we do. Let's do what we do, and it'll work. And that's kind of what happened.
And so I just want to put it out there. You know, I might have done a bit of Byra glazing, but it was very well deserved for some of those saves that you were putting up there. Was there at any point during that game where you just kind of realized the caliber of saves you were making?
Yeah, definitely. But that's kind of what I'm known for on this roster. I don't really score many goals. I tend to miss a rolling ball. So the squishy save and the post pinch is definitely my forte.
Absolutely phenomenal. And, you know, you guys, I brought it up earlier. I'll bring it up now. Currently on Bepic's rankings, you're sitting at, I believe, 45th. You played Conestoga, who's 43rd. How do you guys feel as this season continues to go on and a lot of CRL is starting to pop off now into this month of October? How do you guys feel you guys are going to continue to perform?
Well, honestly, we're feeling really good about this season. We were aware that we didn't have any results coming into the rankings, so we were almost expecting not to be on there, period. But shout out Bepic for throwing us on the list at 45. We're definitely higher, but we're going to have to prove ourselves to get in the 30s.
Yeah, I'll admit that that Shawnee State series that you guys playing with the scammer did play a role in that 45. So you'll get bumped up. Don't you worry. As long as you guys 4-0 in NECC tonight?
Yes, we did.
Hey, I mean, you keep getting results like that, you're gonna jump up the rankings. But I mean, you lose Tater going into this season. But I mean, this trio is used to playing with one another. So how has the process been of building the chemistry up to be once again the Davenport roster of old that contends with the top 32?
Well, despite not being teammates last year, we decided that as a Rocket League program, it was important to maintain a healthy relationship between all of us. We had 11 players last year.
Wow.
And I've been teaming with Exiled since RLCS 2022. So we definitely had that friendship bond. And to me, that's a very important aspect of a strong team with good chemistry, is how well you know each other outside of the game, so we can bring in positivity into series.
Yeah, fair enough. It's important. You guys looking solid so far. And also, Noah has been in chat tonight. He's saying you guys are running laps for every mistake you made. You got anything to say about the laps you guys will be running even after a win?
We'll stick to the weights instead of the cardio.
All right. Spoken like a true esport athlete, man. Dude, I appreciate you for jumping in the booth. Keep pumping that iron, dude. And keep winning Rocket League games. Congrats, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Borky, that does end our night. Thanks for filling in for Sleeper in this last series. You were treated to more than 3 games, thanks to Davenport and Conestoga putting on a show. So once again, thanks for joining me in the booth.
Oh, thank you for having me. I wouldn't have missed this for the world. I mean, that Florida versus Kaiser match was so good. It was a sweep at the end of the day, but 2 of those games were in overtime. There was a bunch of tech issues here and there. The update messed things up, but
Yeah.
we got through it. We made it to the finish line. We're here now, and we got to enjoy that. And again, I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody that jumped in chat here tonight. I mean, all the gifts and subs and all of that, Taquito's raid. Just a big shout out to the chat, because CRL, from what I've learned, is really about community. And this was just a full example of that here tonight.
Definitely. We got a great community, a lot of fun people. We're going to go support Double Commit GG tournament organizers after this, so do follow the raid over in their general direction. They do often raid this channel. So keep being awesome, everybody. Thanks for watching Wednesday Night Lights. Next stream I can think of will probably be on Sunday for some league match play for CRL. I'll see what I can't scrounge up for that. Otherwise, we'll have Collegiate exclusive next week. We'll have CRL 3v3 opens next week. A lot of great CRL content. Support your local CRL teams. Support Collegiate Rocket League in general, however you can. But thank you for supporting tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Shout out to Nutty for jumping on earlier in the booth. Thanks to Borky as well for casting. Thanks to the players for playing. I'll see y'all. Peace out.